Hi everybody, welcome back to Conversations. Yes, that's right, it's the official name of the Arcadia Family of Companies online show. Today, we are here at the state capitol getting ready to interview no other than Lieutenant Governor Josh Green. We're going to ask the Lieutenant Governor to talk with us about four things. First, we're going to ask him to share about the data of COVID-19, current data. Second, we're going to ask him to give our recommendations about personal protective equipment. Third, we're going to ask him if he has any creative suggestions with respect to social interactions amongst our residents while they continue to practice social distancing. And finally, we're going to ask him about point of care testing. So get ready, here we go. Let's go on in. Aloha everyone. Today we have the honor of having a very special guest on our show, Lieutenant Governor Josh Green. The Lieutenant Governor is a local emergency room physician, husband and father of two, who has spent his life caring for Hawaii's families. One of his current priorities right now is serving as the Hawaii COVID-19 Healthcare Liaison. And Lieutenant Governor, welcome. We are very happy to have you. We know that you are extremely busy, so we have four questions for you that we'd like to ask, and we're going to dive right in. So here we go. Question number one, data tells the story. And so with your explanation and your graphic of the state's current status, it paints a true and realistic picture for all of us, and it's very easy to understand.
Sure.
As of today, can you tell us what the data shows?
Yes, so thank you for having me. As of today, we have 319 cases in the state of Hawaii. Today, we have 34 new cases in our state, and 21 people have COVID-19 that are in the hospital for care. So what we're seeing here is this is the trend from the 26th of last month until today, the 3rd of March. This is where we had the shelter-in-place order and we stopped travel into the state of Hawaii. So our hope has been to make it go flatter, the curve, rather than what other states saw, which was go up and up like this. And so far it's working, so you can see us trending here slightly under my projection of concern. If we continue to stay at home, shelter in place, be very safe, to wear PPE, that's the mask and whatnot, when we go out, if we have to shop, and stay 6 feet away, like Susie and I are doing, we'll be okay, we'll be safe, and we will be able to beat this. So that's what we're seeing. Now the numbers also, let me do this, are here. We have this many beds, 2,757 hospital beds in our state. We could increase it by 457 at a moment's notice if we had to, if we had a lot of sick people. We have right now in use 1,520 beds, that's 55% of our hospital beds, so we have space if God forbid anybody gets sick. Here's our intensive care unit bed number, 338. That's if you're very, very sick and maybe need help breathing. We're using 121 of those, and that's just 36%. Very important because we have to not exceed this number. Finally, we have 535 ventilators just in case, so we can get our numbers up a little bit. We're only using 16% of our ventilators right now, and that is a blessing because this is the ultimate fail-safe position that we have to be safe to keep our kupuna alive, which is you guys. So overall, just 21 people in the hospital. God bless their souls, 3 have died. But even my 51-year-old dear friend from college just died of COVID-19, so we have to be very cognizant that it can get any of us.
Thank you very much. You had talked about personal protective equipment. What are your recommendations regarding using PPE by employees in nursing facilities and assisted living communities?
The best thing to do is if we're taking care of our patients, if we are working in the facilities, we absolutely should be in PPE. It's very important because if I come back to our numbers where we are watching out who is most vulnerable, the possibility that we could get very sick or die is higher if we're older. So for that reason, we should have our masks on, we should have our gloves on. That is mostly effective, okay? And also the face guard if we're doing any procedures or anything more intensive. You could argue that we should have some of the gowns on for certain circumstances, but really it's a respiratory spread, so we want to have masks on so we don't spread it amongst ourselves or from our faculty, our team, I should say.
What about our residents? Should they be wearing masks too?
Well, the very safest thing is, first of all, stay 6 feet apart, right? The very safest thing is that. If people are not symptomatic and they've been in the facility for a period of time. I don't believe they're positive, so they don't have to wear a mask.
Okay.
It is a little safer. So if people would like to, when they're, say, in the game room playing cards, or if they're having their meal and they're going to be clustering a little bit more, that's a decent time to have a mask.
Got it. Okay, great, thank you. Given the importance of social interaction, especially for our kupuna, what recommendations or creative suggestions do you have for nursing facilities and senior communities to ensure social distancing while also promoting social interaction so that we don't see a decline in cognitive function or physical functioning?
Right, so very, very good question and very important. We have to stay active because this amount of kind of lockdown hopefully will only last through the month of April, but there will still be some concern going forward, and we have to make sure we get down to a no-risk time before we get together and cluster and hang out and hug and kiss everybody all the time. I would say at least 6 feet apart. So that means if there's a game, we might have to thin out our ranks a little bit. If there's a big event at the facility, maybe fewer people all in the room at the same time, we want to stay 6 feet apart. There's other things, of course, that we can do. If our friends or family can bring us an iPad or something so that we can communicate that way, it's very good. Overall, the less direct contact we have, the safer we are, because it only takes a couple moments where someone was very sick and we didn't know it to spread, and then it might be 7 days before we have symptoms and we spread it again. That's why we're being so careful.
Okay, great. Last question for you, Lieutenant Governor. A huge mahalo to you for all of your strong efforts in ramping up all of the testing that has occurred statewide. We really appreciate that. How soon do you anticipate point of care testing that might be available across healthcare facilities? And do you think it's a possibility in the future for the ability to test all residents and all staff in order for us to keep our kupuna safe?
That's actually a very important question. So the Abbott test is now okay. It's acceptable. It's a test that takes 5 minutes to about 13 minutes. We can get those machines in the state. We've already inquired about that. Then we could do a quick test of a lot of us at the facility or in our institutions. That is very possible, very doable. By the end of the month, that will be something that's in our state. Whether each facility has it or not, they're going to be expensive to get the machine. There's another test, which is just where if you've got diabetes, sometimes you have to have your finger stick and you give your sugar, you check it. We have a test like that, which will be able to tell us whether or not someone has had the disease already. And that will be very helpful because we'll be able to test our whole workforce, all of us who are working, whether or not we're already immune. A lot of people may very well have had a very mild case of COVID-19 and not even known it. And that's certainly going to be the case over the course of the next year. That will be helpful for all of us. So the testing will come. I intend to implement a plan statewide with the rest of the leadership so that anyone coming into Hawaii gets such tests so we don't have to worry about visitors, our other relatives and loved ones as they come visit. So these tests are coming very quickly. We also can do same-day testing for healthcare professionals right now already. So if someone were sick at the facility, I would say we can have a quick call. We have a special team that will come and test because they may be taking care of people.
Awesome. Those are the questions we have. Any final comments before we close ourselves out?
Just thank you so much for caring for our kupuna. Thank you, kupuna, for being so responsive. Please don't be afraid. This is a time where you guys have been through a lot. You've been through many challenges in life. This is a scarier one because there's some uncertainty, but truthfully, you're in a wonderful facility. You have great people that you are being cared for and you are taking care of. Those young people need your stability too. So be protective of them in the same way. Spend not too much time this close. This is about as close as we get, and know that this is going to pass soon. Bless you guys.
Thank you very much, Lieutenant Governor, and know that if the Arcadia family can help you in any way, we're here and we're ready. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.